Alright, folks, it's Halloween. We are sitting here going through my daughter's candy, and maybe if I can get through this show without having a massive sugar attack, we're going
Stomach
to be
ache.
lucky.
Stomach ache.
And here we have my good friend Mike, who joins us on the program this week. It is Halloween, and I hope all of you are stuffing your faces in your kids' candy bins, getting their candy. It's the best time of year to get free candy from people you don't even know.
And you know, Halloween is, being that it's so commercial now, it's not, its origins are way back in pagan lore, and I won't say witchcraft per se, but, it's, most of them take it from Samhain, which is spelt weird, pronounced differently because it's Celtic and all that. As most people probably know since they already read that, but for pagans, it is not a holiday of fun and games. It's actually a very solemn holiday, very serious one, and it is when the veils between this world and the other world are the thinnest, supposedly, and that's when you can have communication with your dead, the ancestors, or whatever wants to, communicate with you if you can. It can work both ways. Anyway, prepared.
Yeah, anyways, we are ready to go and ready to do stuff here on the program. I don't know if my daughter is going to appreciate me eating all of her candy. Here's some more out of here we got. And Three Musketeers bars. And look at this, a full Starburst bar. We got a half a Hershey's bar, it looks like here. What else do we got? We got a full York peppermint pad. Maybe it's not a full one, but it's a big one. So all these candies are mine. My daughter's not going to have them. She's going to be angry, very mad, pissed. She's probably going to throw a little temper tantrum like she did last year when I took my candy. It's mine. That's, again, folks, that's why we send our kids out trick-or-treating. Right, Mike?
So
we send them out
so they can get sick eating all the candy.
So they can get us candy. So they can get us candy. It's free.
Now, this one's not good for you, but I will take it and make good use of it.
Yes. Tootsie Rolls. I didn't even know they made Tootsie Rolls. Look at this stuff in here. Anyways, it is Halloween. It is a pagan holiday. It also is a commercial holiday.
More commercial.
God, we have a little cat here in the studio with us today. Who just decided to try to knife my balls with its claws, climbing up my leg. And I'm allergic to cats, so of course he knows this. And whatever. So it is commercialized.
He wants to cuddle.
And it is systemized to get most profits out of stuff. And not only that, Bo, but if you go to Walmart, right across, and these other stores, right across the aisle is Christmas. So you got to depend on what holiday, what religion you want to celebrate first.
Yeah, the commercialization overlaps. We haven't even really gotten to Halloween yet, and they're already putting out Christmas stuff.
And I haven't seen any Thanksgiving stuff except for scarecrows and some pretty little leaves. Those cornucopia, whatever the hell they're called.
And all you fools, after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, you think you're getting bargains? The hell if you are.
No.
It's a gimmick.
Let's discuss
it's a ruse.
This gimmick of the Thanksgiving, if you think about it, the television you're getting last week was $372. Today you're getting it for $350. Or maybe they only bring out televisions that they haven't sold all year.
It's like this.
And they give them a price.
You go to the grocery store. This week, you see the eggs are priced $3.19. Next week, they're $3.99 on sale for $3.19. That's the gimmick.
Well, it's like that. Walmart did this for years. I don't think they're the same price as they are now. But Oreo cookies used to be $2.50 a piece. But the sale was 2 for $5. So you get 2 for $5.
Which means you have more money to spend on something else.
Hang on.
That's what they're doing.
$5.
It's a lure.
Well, if they're both $2.50, and I get 2 of them, no matter if it's a sale or not, it's $5. What kind of a deal is that?
Well, I mean,
it's like you can get 5 for $5 of the soda. That's $1 a piece anyway.
I've worked in retail for 9.5 years, and I tell you, my boss, it was a wine and cheese store, and we sold a lot of beer. He would up the prices around the holidays, and then tell them that it was on sale.
Well, that's what I'm getting at Thanksgiving. They'll take off sales, televisions and electronics. In other words, let's say Sanyo, the brand of television, Sony, and all this. Maybe they sold those, and the Irons and the Niven or whatever that brand name is there didn't sell like a 35% margin. So they sell at the 35% margin, and they only go for maybe up to a 40% margin. So they take away these TVs off the shelves, and they begin to sell them at a discounted price, saying it's a sale on Thanksgiving. Now, the listeners, if you're just tuning in, you can go up to www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com and get all the information about the station you're listening to. You can go up to Wild and Wacky Wade at yahoo.com and write me an email. Send me an email. Our phone number is 607-217-4667. Of course, probably the phones won't work because the person sitting across from us right now on the board over there is a total retard and doesn't know how to manage the phones. That brings me up another topic, Mike. If we're walking down that hallway, that little skimmish guy down the hallway down there is looking at me and you like we're idiots. What's the matter with you? You don't have a guest on your show? You don't have a co-host? Anyways, we're going to take a little minute for a break here. And we need one. So what we're going to do is take a little break, and we'll be right back. Alright, so I came back and took a shit, and now he's all pissed off at me. And we got this guy, whatever the fuck it calls itself, sitting at our board laughing at me. And that little fucking peewee son of a bitch, I go out and step out to get a coffee. And the fucker's staring at me in the hallway again.
Where are you getting all this?
Staring at me in a fucking hallway. Where am I getting a coffee? There's a coffee maker out there, you dumbass.
I got a coffee maker in here, but I never used it. It's never been used. No point. I don't drink coffee. I may drink 2 to 4 cups a whole year.
All right, folks, we're back, and we got we have a cat here sleeping on our whatever it is over there.
Until you drop the bottle and woke him up.
Yeah.
I
think it would be better if we did this show with beer. Then I could get.
Then I'd get bloated, and I'd have to go shit.
Yeah.
Beer makes me shit. Coffee makes me shit. Shit makes me shit.
Taking a shit makes you shit.
Yeah. Well, taking a pee makes me pee. I could pee for any reason. All I have to do, we hear water running. All I have to do is say water, and I gotta go pee. If I stand up, if I get up from bed, I gotta go pee. And then, when in the morning, the first thing you do
library reading and take a pee somewhere.
The first thing you do in the morning is go pee, right?
That's not the first thing I do in the morning. First thing I do in the morning is get out of bed.
Well, then you go pee.
Yeah. No, then I have to get to the bathroom.
And 10 minutes after I've just peed up a storm, I have to pee again. What the hell is that? What do I got? Like reserve bladder or something? Like camels have a reserve hump water or whatever the hell they have. I mean, come on,
So if I dropped an ice cube down your back right now,
I probably have to go pee.
You'd piss yourself.
Well, no, I can hold it to some degree. So sometimes
I held my pee up to 3 hours.
It's an urgency. Well, a lot of people put it down to being diabetic, But
I held my pee up to 3 hours one time, and one time The most I've done is like 6
Well,
hours.
see that's
when
what
I won't go on those.
that's what my
Porta-johns.
first doctor long ago told me. He says the reason you peel out now is because you held it too much as a kid, therefore you damaged your
Well,
bladder.
no, I won't go on a porta-john. So we do a carnival or a fair, or we go to that.
Now, if you have
flea
no
market.
choice, you got no choice.
I won't go on a porta-john.
Try not to look. They're so disgusting to look in.
I won't go into a porta-john. I'd rather pee right there at the table at the flea market.
God, there's so many different euphemisms for it, too.
And I pee.
The original thing was outhouse, and now they call it porta potties. They also call them Jiffy Johns or Johnny on the spots.
You imagine the guy has to clean those things.
Oh, I seen them do it. They had this big tanker with a big giant hose, and they vacuum it all out.
You imagine emptying the hose at the garbage dump? They'd empty it at the garbage dump. You
And
realize
then
that, right?
Yeah, and it goes right back into your water supply.
No, it goes to the dump. So while you're walking around looking for shit at the garbage dump, you're stepping in other people's shit as it drowns, because that's where they dump it, down those tracks.
There's a movie with Ringo in it and everything on Peter Sellers in that. It's called The Magic Christian. And it was Peter Sellers was this billionaire or something like that. And he was just curious what would people do for money, right? And one of them, there was this giant vat, and he threw $100 bills in it and something like that. And people were just diving in there. This vat was full of puke and shit and every fucking bad thing you can imagine. People were diving in for the dollar bills.
$1?
Or whatever they were. You know, could have been $100, but whatever it was, people will go after. They will do anything for money. People do anything for money. The bottom line, everything.
No way am I going.
See, we argued this. I don't want to get back to that topic again about money, because money sucks. There's got to be another way. There's got to be another system we can do. The barter system, well, that's only if you have something to trade.
But then you have lazy assholes like me that won't make anything and starve to death for the rest of our lives because we won't do anything.
Yeah, well, that's, you know.
What am I going to barter for? My
What do you have?
Radio skills?
I mean, you either trade something you have that somebody else might want.
Like what? What do I have that other people
Or
want?
you trade in service. You do something for them. Like, hey, I want food. Let me cut your yard. That bullshit type of thing. I mean, you know, none of these things.
What am I mowing somebody's lawn for?
So you can have food. They can give you food.
Let your grass grow. You know what mowing your lawn is like? It's like me coming over and cutting your in
mine,
half.
I haven't cut mine for like however long now. It's getting winter, but the weeds just went crazy. And my lawnmower broke, and I already had it repaired once, and I just can't afford to have it repaired again. So therefore, fuck it. And why is people so concerned about weeds? They're green. This is green like grass. Shit, you know, what the hell's the problem with that?
Well, I can't tell the difference.
But you know, they
between weeds and
got
grass.
ordinances where you can't have your grass higher than like 6 inches or something.
You know
like
how
that shit.
far 6 inches is?
Well, I got some of those weeds that are higher than that.
You know how far 6 inches is? That's half a foot.
Or maybe it's a foot.
Your
I don't
weeds
know.
are
I
not
can't
half
remember.
a foot. What are they going to do? Come around with a weed thing and measure them?
Well, I also
Is that just like you mean they're honestly going to come around and arrest you for having tall weeds?
This past winter, there was a time when it snowed a whole lot, and I have a bad back and bad legs and everything else, and I can't really go out there and shovel. And when I'm at the end of the month, I don't have any money to pay anybody to do it, you know. And most of these people now come around and want $30 just to shovel a little sidewalk.
$30.
Yeah.
Just shovel or sidewalk.
Yeah. And well, I mean, you know, I'd be glad to pay it if I had the money. So damn shit. And so what do I get?
Pay me $1,000.
I get a warning in my mailbox that my driveway and my thing wasn't shoveled.
So what? It's your driveway.
Well, they don't want people hurting themselves.
But what are they going to do? Come on your property and trespass and slip and fall in your yard?
Well, you got the mailmen and people like that, delivery people. You got on the front sidewalk, which is not your property, but it's, you know, owned by the city or town or whatever the hell. You're still supposed to. You're obligated to clear that because that's a public walkway. And if somebody slips and hurts themselves,
Why don't the
then
public
you're
come
liable.
out and do it then?
Well, they do the roads, but they fucking they plow the damn snow right into you 3 times, 3 feet high in front of your driveway. You have to fucking shovel it again.
Well, I like last year what happened where I live, there in the city. The guys would park their cars on opposite sides of the streets, which is a bunch of bullshit. Should be the same side all year round, or something. Or, you know, 1 week is one side, the other side's the other.
I mean, I complain a lot, but I have to commend them. They do a pretty good job of clearing the roads.
Well, because we're here, where you live, they have an ordinance. You're not supposed to park on the street at all.
But they push it right into your damn driveway. I mean, and it's not just, you know, a little bit where you have to reshovel it again. You have to. It's 3 feet high, and then if you don't go out until the next morning, it's fucking frozen solid. You get some ice. You need an ice pick to chop it up. But I tell you what.
What I used to do is wait till it melted on the top, on the bottom, shovel all that nice snow out of there.
I pay a damn lot of property taxes. They should have somebody else come out and do it.
Put the nice shoveled snow on the bottom of that. You know how they plow it on the roads and it's kind of like up against an embankment there? Shovel on the bottom of that and put it in a bucket and let it melt, and you can get free salt. Because all the salt flies all over the bottom of it.
Yeah,
if all that melts, it turns
that
into
salt
nice
ruins
salt.
the fuck out of your car. Ruins it.
Throw the salt on your own property. That's how you recycle the salt. That's how we do it.
Well, yeah.
I get free salt, man. It's free.
Yeah, it's just.
See, you found something. It's free. It's salt.
Oh, you paid for it with your taxes.
I don't pay taxes.
The hell if you don't,
do.
in one way or another.
I don't pay.
Yeah,
taxes.
I pay property taxes, but you also pay sales tax. They're thinking of raising the sales tax again.
Well,
here.
sales taxes are not supposed to be paid by us. I've argued this before.
What do you mean paid by us? We pay it every time we go to the store.
No,
we pay
the
sales
store is supposed to pay 8 cents on every dollar that they make.
But they charge you. They pass it on to you.
I know it. We don't have to pay that tax.
Okay, so I don't want to pay I want the
Some states don't
price
even have
without
sales
being taxed.
tax.
Yeah.
Some states don't even have it.
Well, some states like Florida don't have an income tax for their state, but they do have a high sales tax.
What's their sales tax? 10%. Ours is high.
See, I'm trying to remember when I was down there. It was like 8 cents on the.
Ours is 8 cents.
Yeah, see, it's high. 8
So
cents.
no income tax, meaning that you don't got to
sure?
pay.
And they want to raise it to what? 10 cents.
I thought income tax was the federal government. Wants what you earn.
Between Los Angeles and New York are the two highest tax states there are. And New York taxes every fucking thing. That's what I wanted to get into. You go to New York City, they have bagels at a bagel shop. You want to get a bagel sandwich, they have to slice the bagel. If you slice the bagel, you have to pay a tax on it. Okay? But if it's unsliced, you know, which is kind of stupid because you're buying a sandwich made on a bagel, right? There were some establishments that were fined for not paying the tax on the sliced bagel. Come on, they charge you for slicing your bagel? Come on. Look at those crap.
Well, I think that's just stupid. What do you mean that slicing your sandwich?
You got to sell them a whole bagel to not get taxed. Okay? So if you're at a sandwich shop,
it's called a prepared food tax. Go to McDonald's.
But it's just another way in New York. Some idiot say, "Hey, I come up with another way to make some more money."
Now, is this all over New York?
New York City, I don't know about the whole New York.
Well, in the city, they also have different, charge more for larger sodas. There's only one size, a medium size.
Well, they do have a thing.
If you want a larger size,
all
you pay
of New
more
York
money.
about sandwiches, what they declare a sandwich now, they will charge you for. A taco to them is a sandwich.
A taco.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we got to go on a break. When we come back, I'm going to find out what a sandwich is. All right, so what you're saying is that if I have a burrito, let's see, burritos, tacos are on the list.
Yep.
Everything that'll make you have diarrhea is on this list.
Well, a hot dog's a sandwich, they say it, because it's on a bun.
Well,
you know?
technically it is. And
I mean,
meat between a piece of...
Well, anyway, New
York...
York...
hot dog's not meat anyways. That's just whatever it is, folks.
New York wants to call what they have is a sandwich tax. Unbelievable. As if your food isn't being taxed anyway. You know? Even if fast food, I mean, anywhere you go, your food is taxed. Except maybe at the grocery store. Is it taxed at the grocery store? I can't remember.
There is food. There is, like, sodas taxed.
Yeah, certain things, right?
Anything that's not natural.
Okay. New York says sandwiches include cold and hot sandwiches of every kind that are prepared and ready to be eaten. whether made on bread, on bagels, and rolls, and pizzas, and wraps, or otherwise. Regardless of the filling or number of layers, a sandwich can be as simple as a buttered bagel or roll, or as lavish as a 6-foot toasted submarine, and they're going to tax the fuck out of it. You know?
So now butter is what? A condiment, right?
They don't care if it's put between two things, whatever it's bread.
So if I dump ketchup all over a bagel and put it together, it's a sandwich.
Is the shit log coming out of your two buns and your butt considered a sandwich? So now they'll tax you taking a shit because it's technically it would be a sandwich. Well, you wouldn't eat it, but
some people would.
But some people eat a lot of shit. I mean, but it's everything. I mean, just butter in a fucking bun.
So that the picture is showing here, folks, shows what, a donut or something? What is that? A muffin?
It's a bread roll.
It's a bread roll with butter on it. It's a sandwich.
Yeah, it's considered. So they want to tax it.
So what about a muffin?
Anything. You know, if he put something, I don't know, a muffin that, I don't know. Anything that's bread-based snacks, New York Department of Taxation and Finance defends it's trying to
Tacos is not bread-based. That's corn-based.
Well, there's cornbread.
That's not bread. It's corn.
It doesn't matter. They just think they want to tax it. They just want to tax anything. That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous. New York is fucked up. We'll tax every goddamn thing. You know, I mean.
I wish our phones worked, but our board person over here is telling me it doesn't. Why doesn't it work? It doesn't? Whatever. All right, folks. Whatever. We can open a phone line for this. Write us. Wild and Wacky Wade at yahoo.com with your comments on this. Sandwiches being taxed. What other states have anything else? Did you find out anything else? If other states have all this stupid shit?
Well, I
imagine Los Angeles and San Francisco and Dallas and Miami.
When I used to live in Maryland, in Montgomery County, they had what they called an entertainment tax. It doesn't matter if you had just a DJ or a band or one little singer sitting in the corner strumming his guitar. If it's entertainment, if you have somebody juggling while they're picking their nose, that's entertainment. I mean, they're going to charge you extra for that entertainment.
Well, New York State has a ticket tax, an entertainment admissions tax of 6 cents on every ticket that you sell. So and sometimes it even goes up to 10 cents depending on the venue and what it is. Like professional wrestling tickets have a 10 cents on every dollar on the ticket. So that's your basically your admissions is 10 cents on the dollar. Doesn't have to be a ticket. I've been in places where you just hand them cash and you walk in. But they're responsible. The promoter, the owner, whoever's running the show is responsible for putting 10 cents on every dollar they make. So if they make $1,000 on that show, they owe New York State $100.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, certain jurisdictions, but New York has just gone overboard with a lot of shit.
Well, the whole entire state of it.
I mean, if you think of like the song "Taxman" by the Beatles, I mean, it's, if you take a seat, they're gonna, you know, if you sit down, they're gonna tax the seat. I mean, they're gonna
admissions taxes, basically.
You know, well, I'm talking about let's say a public bench on the park. Well, you're paying for the tax to have the park, which is okay, I guess, you know, but you know, but like
you got to pay school taxes. You don't even got kids in the school. And the school ain't even using the money for what it's worth.
And if you take a walk, they'll tax your feet.
They want to pave the driveway of the school, of the high school, and they're using your taxes. That has nothing to do with the students.
No.
Why are they taking it out of the taxes?
According to our friend Deb, she says most of the school tax doesn't even go to the schools. What?
Well, see, this is another thing. People complain, and I've talked about this on my show before. People complain about welfare. And the person on the board over there is laughing his head off. The person on welfare, the money they get to do the welfare, isn't even taken out of the taxes of yours. What happens is, it's like a dump truck. They will take the money and put it where it's needed. And then whoever wants it can take more. However, the social services, the Social Security, what they call welfare and for food stamps and SNAP and all these other benefits are not taken out of what you're paying out of your work taxes. They're taken out of a whole bundle of saved money. Sometimes it's even grants. And these grants are set by the state and the government and all this. So people will come in and bitch. I've talked about this many times on the show. They'll bitch and they'll holler and they'll shit themselves.
I need a grant for somebody to come and shovel my damn sidewalk.
Well, you probably could get it. But they come out of these grants. So when people
I want a
stare
grant
at me,
that will pay my taxes for me. How's that?
grant that'll pay your taxes for you. The guy over there is laughing his ass off at us. And he's laughing his ass off at us, and in a minute I'm going to get up and slap him. He should get fired for laughing at me right now. Well, if you don't like it, get the hell out of here and go somewhere else and let Mike take. Don't let Mike take the board. He'll spill his soda all over it again.
That's why I keep it away from the desk here, the drinks.
We have a little cat now walking on a wall. What are you doing, cat? Look at it. He just licks his balls and his ass. Then he stares at us like, oh, this is fun.
His name is Jeepers.
Yes.
Jeepers actually was originally GPS because you could find any damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call him Scout sometimes because he's always scouting for shit.
But he's got to get to know his name, so you got to keep repeating the same.
Jeepers, what are you doing, buddy?
He's cleaning. It's I wake up, I wash
He's
my
licking
face.
his asshole.
No, I am.
Why did you lick your ass, cat? That's disgusting. Yeah.
Well,
Look at
because
that
I can't use toilet paper unless I steal it from him and me. Run it down the hallway, right? A yawn. Stretchy. Oh, you got something for it to play with. This is, of all the cats that are curious, this is the most curious cat.
Well, okay, back to it. So these taxes you're paying are not worth it because they're not doing anything with
Well,
them.
we're overtaxed, I think. I mean, if they would let me know exactly where the taxes are going, exactly how much is going into their pockets in the bureaucracy there, or whatever you call them, how much is going into their pockets as how much is going towards. Okay, I understand paying taxes for the roads. You want the roads in good shape, whatnot and stuff, but I want to know exactly where my tax money is going and why the hell do I have to pay so damn much. I bought this house outright, and my taxes are as much as some of the higher counties in the country, and it's ridiculous. The house doesn't cost that much. Jeez. I don't know.
See, the problem is
I just don't like
that I've heard other states like Florida, they got taxes.
Well,
they got unbelievable taxes on property and stuff.
Well, it depends where you live. I mean, they're gonna if it's a high
California
area,
has huge taxes on property.
If there's a high demand for places to live, they're gonna tax the shit out of it because they know there's a high demand. And because there's a scarcity, like in New York City, of places to live, so you get this tiny little loft, one-room loft, costs you $3,000 a month or more, probably more.
And I've heard sometimes you'll buy a loft that's probably as big as the studio we're sitting in.
But my beef here is,
and it's
I own this house outright. It's my house. I don't need to pay any more money out. That was the idea of buying it outright. I mean, so I don't have to pay rent and shit. But, any little savings I had when I'm on disability, I mean, I'd have a fixed income, and they still want all this friggin' money from me. And I'm old. I'm a cranky old fucking hippie, man. And, I really should have moved out and built myself a shack in the woods somewhere.
Well, then you'd be taxed on that, too, because you're using resources.
The problem is most property, you can't, what do they call it, when you just live somewhere, homestead. You can't homestead anymore. It's either owned by private interests or it's owned by the government. You can't homestead on that property.
What are you talking about, homestead?
That means, like in the times when the pioneers were going across the country, some of them would find some land and claim it as their own and just live there. It was free land.
Well, once you buy property, you don't own it.
No, I don't own shit. I mean, I went to Sedona. Beautiful houses, right? Mostly, and
where's Sedona?
Sedona's in Arizona. and it's a beautiful place, very spiritual and all that stuff. But they have a lot of celebrities have their second or third homes there, and that brings the property prices up. The problem is there, you buy the house, but you don't buy the land that it's on. The city owns the land that it's on. Here, I don't own goddamn land, I own the house and the land, but I have to pay for it still, Stand paying for the roads, have them come snow plow and all that crap. That's, it's good.
Oh, do they even plow? You're complaining earlier they don't even plow right. So why do you pay them?
Well, no matter where you go,
they don't do the job right. Why do you pay them?
They're clearing the road, but they're blocking the driveways when they're doing it. That's the problem. And they're making it extra work.
If what the weather is going to be like around here, folks.
Well, I don't know. I heard we're going to have a harsh winter this time.
Well, we had a harsh one last time.
No, it wasn't. It was pretty mild comparatively.
It was freezing cold.
Well, the cold is one thing. It's all that damn snow and ice that comes with it.
I don't mind the snow. It's much warmer in the snow. I can go out with a normal sweater on, a hooded sweatshirt.
Yeah, the problem with even now, when I lived around D.C., I mean, the Beltway and all that stuff, there were so many different people from all over the world, and some people have never even seen snow. You get not even an inch of snow, and it's a total disaster. Because, first of all, people don't know how to drive on it.
Well, it's like that in Atlanta. They get ice and the whole town shuts down.
But you got to figure this. The problem here, or anywhere, is even if you only get an inch of snow, the pavement is already cold. When the pavement's cold, it's still going to have a thin layer of freeze beneath that snow. You're going to skid on a 1 inch of snow. And I've seen it. I've seen people flying in the ditches. They thought, oh, it's only 1 inch of snow. I'm going to drive the speed limit. Yeah, okay. When I used to work, I mean, people all left and right in ditches all over the place.
Well, you know how when maybe some of our listeners, and you can go up to www.diversitybroadcastnetwork.com and listen to us live Fridays at 10. Maybe you're listening to us live right now. You can go up to Wild and Wacky Wade at yahoo.com. Drop us a line. Our phones are supposed to be working. But as normal, they're not.
Oh, okay. See, I can light up here in our studio because it's not illegal to. Yeah. However, they made it illegal to smoke anywhere anymore.
Well, that's a whole different story.
No, I understand.
Why would you want to go into McDonald's with a bunch of kids in there? I mean, that's what people bring as their families and smoke. Now, if I want to go for a nice steak restaurant, like the Outback Steakhouse, or a nice.
Well, they used to have a smoking section.
Yes.
Okay. But even businesses, I mean, you have to go outside and smoke. It's fucking freezing cold. And you stand out there and smoke. You're not only cast out as a pariah, now you're going to get sick being out in the cold.
If there's children, like McDonald's and Burger King, I
know the secondhand smoke bullshit.
Well,
I don't buy into it. I know people would be bitching at me about that, but I don't buy into this secondhand smoke bullshit. I really don't. Unless you're in a closed up room and there's 100 people smoking and you're breathing that smoke, then maybe I could say something. But secondhand smoke, no, forget it. But the point I'm trying to make is you have an establishment, let's say a bar. Now, since I do smoke, if I wanted a drink, I got to have a cigarette. You got to go put your drink down and go outside and have a damn cigarette. That does not mean to me that ruins
and then somebody like me will come by and drink your drink. And then when you come back,
yeah, whatever.
Well, it's great, folks. If you find drinks on the bar, drink them up.
The problem is it's totally unconstitutional. The proprietor has the right to say whether they're smoking or not smoking. It's up to them. It's not up to the government and people to say, you can't smoke here. That's bullshit. I know in Tempe, Arizona, okay, you're not even allowed to smoke outside anywhere.
Well, why? Why are you not allowed to smoke?
I don't know.
They want to do that to your house. They want to say that you can't smoke in your apartment, in your house.
Well, a lot of places, if you're renting, they won't rent to smokers. And I understand because the smoke gets in the windows, it yellows it up, it yellows the paint.
So what? You repaint when the next tenant comes in,
makes the curtains and stuff. Well, they're supposed to.
Well, there you go.
But a lot of places don't.
They don't?
Yeah, but they should. They're supposed to. Especially the slumlords, they ain't gonna do shit.
And you should paint your walls a pretty bright color.
On my last apartment, I paid $625 for rent and a deposit of $600. I spent $200 to have a professional clean, and they still found a way not to give me my deposit back, which is total bullshit. I had the place spotlessly clean. It's cleaner than when I went into it. It wasn't clean when I went into it. And the garage that I also rented, was full of junk, and they bitched about it. Oh, there's junk in there. I said, it was full when I got there. It took me 3 weeks to get rid of all the junk when they told me they were going to come and get it from me. But they never did. I couldn't get my car into the garage or anything because there was so much fucking junk. But you see, the point is you know, you're paying, you're getting ripped off left and right. And that's what pisses me off about everything. People take advantage. You know, companies, businesses, whatever, taking advantage of the poor, take advantage of the old people, take advantage of even young people with these stupid low-wage jobs, and whatever, you know.
Well, the low wages, here's what I say. I said it last week, I'll say it the week before, and I'll say it again this week.
You know, I don't.
If you're going to get your minimum wage at $11 an hour,
but you
what
see,
happens to that person that's already working at $11?
Well, that's my.
The company is not going to raise it.
The company should, before there's even if there is a minimum wage, they should raise the rates.
Is it the
anyway.
wages or is it the stuff we're buying that should be at fault?
Well, you're
buying a flat screen TV.
Whatever's going to happen is going to be passed on to the customer.
You're buying a flat screen TV for $450. Should it be at $450 if it only costs them $100 to make?
Well, it's more than just $100 to make it. You realize one item is taxed like what, 4, 5, 6 times? Let's say you bought a TV, okay?
Okay.
Okay, the manufacturer has to pay a tax on it.
For what?
For making it. He has to pay a tax on it.
That's their problem.
Well, then it goes to the distributor. The distributor is taxed for taking it from one place to another.
Oh, no, if you buy something at Walmart, it goes straight to Walmart, straight to the company.
Well, they got their own trucks. They try to eliminate the middleman, but it still costs. I mean, it's still taxed.
Yeah, but
if it's transported, there's a transportation tax.
But what I'm saying is these things can be lowered. These items could be lowered. People could be willing to work for $7.50 and do $7.50.
Then it gets to the retail store. The retailer taxes it, okay, because the state, local, federal, everybody just wants a piece of the pie.
I went in to McDonald's the other day. There was 5 people standing around doing nothing. The person taking my order and 1 person in the back. I want to see all those damn people working for $7.50.
Well,
if they're paying them for an hour of standing there, then I want that job, and I want to stand there, and I want to do nothing.
I would not. That kind of job is beneath me.
I've already gotten fired from McDonald's. I've gotten fired from Burger King. I've gotten fired from all the fast. That's why I'm sitting here, folks, talking into the microphone to you, because fast food restaurants don't want me. I'm better than that.
Well, you see,
not better than that. I shouldn't say that. Some of our listeners may be working there. I'm not saying
raise the minimum wage, because that can cause all kinds of problems. But give a fair wage. You know, if you're working, standing on your feet all the time and shuffling this and doing that and everything else, it's worth more than what they're paying.
Well, see, I'm the type of person that I've been called a scab many a times. I'm the type of person that if you're going to pay me $3 an hour to work, I'll do it. Well, if you're going to pay me $10 an hour, I'll do it. Yeah, I don't care.
That's called a slave wage.
That $3. Okay, for a whole day's work of $3, and if I get $50 in my pocket, that's paying for my cell phone bill.
Maybe.
If I work, no, it is. That's how much my cell phone bill is. It's about $49. That's $50.
That's
if I work the next day, another $50 pays my nice egg bill. Another $50 pays, the phone bill. Another one pays for a new micro wire here.
Yeah, well, you might be able to pay your bills.
That's what it is.
But you're not going to be able to pay your rent because your rent's the biggest.
Well, that's the next week. At the end of the week. However, that's another thing. The apartment you're staying in.
Groceries cost a fucking fortune nowadays. I don't care what they talk about. It says I shop by sales, I shop by everything, and I still end up spending a lot of money. At the grocery store. Prices keep going up there too, and you know what? Except for their stupid sales, which I don't believe in, which I do still try to buy it if it's on sale, but I'm not going to buy it just because it's on sale. I'm going to buy it because I want the damn product, But if I have a choice between one product and another, I'm going to find the cheapest product, and half the time the generics are just as good, sometimes even better than the ones that are name brands. I know. Yeah, you're going to turn that thing, aren't you?
Our cat is about to walk across stuff, and
well, he already fucked it up this morning on me. He walked across. I found when he came back, and stepped on the keys and just went. The whole screen went blank, and I couldn't get it to come back. Anyway, you little turd ball. You little turd ball. Look at you with the squinty eyes. You trying to say, okay.
All right.
Anyway, I know I rant and rave, and sometimes it doesn't sound justifiable, but.
Well, if anybody has any comments about this, they can write to me, wildandwackywade@yahoo.com. If you're listening to us on YouTube, thank you, and please subscribe. www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com, Fridays at 10 p.m. live. It is Halloween. And again, let's strengthen our safety. We hope everybody is having a good time. Here on the East Coast, here at 10 o'clock, it's about over with.
Treat
but on
the
the West
kids
Coast,
well, and hopefully they'll treat you well too.
Well, I was just going to say, why don't you join your kids in toilet paper people's houses and egging their windows?
It used to be only tricks, now treats, right?
What about the old trick of shitting in a bag and lighting it on fire?
That's what I did as a kid.
That was always fun.
That was terrible.
Shitting in the bag was pretty much trouble because if they caught you shitting in it on their porch.
We'd get some dog shit and put it on a newspaper.
Oh, we used to just shit in the bags.
And well, that was in the bag. You didn't actually step on the shit. You stepped on the bag, you know. But this one, you actually stepped on the shit. You lit the ends of the paper. You ring the doorbell. You run. The guy comes to the door, steps on the shit, trying to put the fire out. I mean, it's funny.
I used to stand there and watch them.
It's stupid. You know, as a kid, we do stupid things. You know, as an adult, we do stupid things. I don't abide by that anymore. I mean, you know, I did it.
We used to take a shit on each other's porch.
And I'm sorry for ever having to do that.
We used to take a shit on each other's porches.
Well, that sounds like fun.
I grew up in the projects.
Let's see how much shit I can put on your porch. Okay, let's go to my place and see how much shit you can put on mine.
No, we used to shit on each other's porches.
For what?
We used to go in there, and I never did it because I didn't like burying my ass in public. But the two other kids liked to bury their ass and take dumps on people's porches. So we used to go around to the friends that were mean to us, and my two friends would take a shit on their porch. So you'd wake up to big two hemp ropes sitting there on your porch.
It's not just retribution, right? It's
Well, we were kids. I mean, those kids are now, one's married, 5 kids, the other one's married, a computer expert. I mean, they probably even forgot about shitting on the porches. I'm probably the only one that remembers. Because
remember at our haunted tent thing, that kid came up and started punching me in the side and kicking me in the legs? Man, I bet you that kid was a bully at school. And you know what? The thing
he might not be. He might be the smartest kid in the school, though.
But he was running rampant. The whole night when I saw him, even later, and throughout the night, actually, he was there was no adult. No adults around.
Well, there were several kids with no adult supervision.
Yeah, I mean,
what I think happens is
that's the major problem.
They dropped them off at they had some candy thing, a pumpkin painting thing. They had a haunted house that we did. They had some other things, and I think they just dropped the kids off for the fun stuff, and they went to listen to the concert.
Or whatever they did, but you know, you're leaving your kid unattended, you know, unobserved. I mean, not just for what the kid can get away with and murder, but you know, you do that, and then you wonder if a kid gets abducted. Why? Come on, you know. Oh, my kid was abducted. Well, you're with him? No, I was way over here, and he was doing whatever.
That's a whole different show.
Well, it might be a whole different show, but it's still. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with it, the way I see it.
All right, folks, we're getting motion that we got to take a break here.
And so one other thing. I mean, people today do not teach their kids any manners whatsoever.
No. If we did half the stuff kids do today, we would have been beaten and smacked with belts.
I mean,
even that's illegal. You can't even spank your kid anymore.
You know, I mean,
our parents beat us with fly swatter belts, wooden spoons, whatever they could get their hands on.
What they used to call latchkey kids. I remember going home after school because my mother had to finally go to work too, so there was nobody at home when I went home from school, and I got myself in all kinds of little shit because I was, you know, there was no supervision. There was nobody to.
You had women come over and parties.
And you had other things going on, but you know, as well. But anyway.
All right, folks, we got to take a break, and we will be right back. And we're back talking about being home alone and doing whatever the hell we wanted as kids here.
Yeah, well, that started back when I was a kid, and basically it was because of the economy. My father was a cop, but we needed extra income, so my mother had to go to work. And when both parents are working, you have no supervision, and they didn't make enough money to have a babysitter or somebody tend me. I didn't get no damn nanny or stupid shit like that, you know. Uh, Without supervision, kids will get away with what they can. It's just the nature of kids.
I never got away with what I could. I was a good kid.
No,
I never did anything wrong in my life.
Yeah, right. I bet you. Yeah, right. Come on, I've heard you say this shit. There was no, I mean, if you were a little tiny angel.
I was. I never did anything wrong.
A perfect little angel, right?
I never got in any fights. I never.
Shit.
Well, we used to throw bats at people's windows, but that's.
Oh, okay. What's that?
They never broke.
Well, what kind of bats? Were you using the wiffle ball bats, the plastic ones?
Yeah. We used to beat each other with wiffle ball bats to see which one's nose would bleed first.
Oh, that's great.
And we used to do professional wrestling. Talk about doing stuff we saw on TV.
If I told you half
we
the
would
shit
actually
I did
do
in school.
No, this wasn't school. I ran around. I grew up in the projects. So we would go in the garbage dumpsters, find stuff to make a ring with, and do exactly what we saw on TV. That's how I got my neck injury. Some kid dropped me on my fucking head, and I got a neck injury.
Well.
So we used to do exactly what we saw on TV in the cartoons. I did everything but probably climb trees.
You want to have another show about cartoons, I'll give. Today's cartoons are absolutely stupid. They're the worst drawn.
Well, they're for the generation.
They're the worstly drawn cartoon I've ever seen. Any of them. SpongeBob.
SpongeBob's great. I love SpongeBob.
Adventure Time. It's a square piece. Anybody can draw it. A kid can draw it.
Ready? Adventure Time. SpongeBob. That other stupid one that shoots fire out of his eyes.
I have no idea. I don't watch them anymore.
He-Man. They made a new one of. But but you have an opinion. You have a good point here. When I was a kid, you knew what it was.
There's no skill.
Half of these cartoons, I don't know if it's an animal or a human being.
There was a skill in drawing cartoons.
But it's for the generation.
But there's no art into it now. Anybody could scribble a fucking cartoon and call it a cartoon.
But it's for the generation.
I could show you something I did. I did like stick figures, right? And shit, if I sold it to somebody, that's what people want to see. But I want to see, I mean, the old cartoons, Bugs Bunny and all that stuff, at least, yeah, they were banging it. But when I was a kid, we realized that, if you bang somebody in the head, you're going to get hurt. But it was...
No, we didn't. We did it...
But the point I'm trying to make is the artistry was much better than it is now. They really worked at, how well they draw, and even if it was a funny character. But now it's like two-dimensional or one-dimensional characters. You have a one-dimensional character, and it just...
Well, it's a generational thing. Today's generation wants that computer. They want that gaming thing.
Computers are all different. Now, those are too realistic.
Yeah. It was just like Dungeons and Dragons. They started making the role-playing games just like the video games. And it's not going to work.
Well, how do you know? Anything works nowadays.
However... If
they make it look realistic and you can be involved in it, it's going to work.
There's a generational gap between me and you, Mike. Your cartoons when you were a kid are not like the ones of my kid when I was a kid. The cartoons of I am a kid are not of the kids today.
I mean, like Roadrunner, there was no dialogue, but there was the road. I mean, there
was dialogue. There were noises.
No, beep beep. That was it. That was it. And the booms and stuff when the coyote.
It wasn't silent.
The coyote always got his shit banged up, But
well, by now I would think he'd be ordering for somewhere besides that, me.
If I was a kid and you're watching it, it's funny because it shows stupidity. It teaches you what stupidity is. Okay. Nowadays, it's just stupid to begin with.
I wanted to see the coyote get really fucked up, like get something stuck in his ass.
I've seen some newer versions.
But the coyote's not the same. Ow. It's not the same. And I think your cat has jumped on my foot. Made the mic bounce, too.
Well, I mean, anything. I mean, shit, I could discuss 1,000 things if I think about what I'm thinking about. I mean, I have a lot of beefs and a lot of rants and a lot of raves and whatnot. But I'm also very rational. about things, you know. And some people might say that I'm conservative. I mean, that I'm radical, that I'm liberal, but I also consider myself conservative. I mean, politically speaking, I'm all three. So how can I be pigeonholed into one? You know?
Well, see, I'm very, very structured with some stuff. I like to know what I'm buying. I like to know what I'm doing. If I'm going to get a product, I like to know about the product. I like to see it. I don't like to buy stuff online because I can't see the product. I can't look at the product.
See, that's what I do now because yes, it's. I mean, I took a chance. I bought myself some sweatpants online, and they actually fit.
Where'd you buy them from, though?
Off of Amazon. I don't know which company from Amazon, but and actually, of all the stuff I ordered on Amazon recently, it was the first thing I got. It was the last thing I ordered and the first thing I got. That was pretty good. Now I bought this pocket watch. It was $12. Came all the way from China, and I'm saying, oh shit, it'll be a piece of shit. But you know what? It's still working. And sad to say, you know, okay, it came from China, made in China. You know, U.S. You buy a flag today, United States American flag. It's made in China. Right?
Well, I don't know if that's always true.
Oh shit!
I've seen stuff made in India, Taiwan, China,
but now it's mostly
made
China.
in Japan.
We used to, Korea.
And I even heard. Now, this is what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. Maybe somebody that's listening can give us some details about this. Wild and Wacky Wade at yahoo.com, www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. We're here with Mike, a good friend of mine.
He's the grumpy old hippie.
Yes, the grumpy old hippie. You may be seeing YouTube videos. You can check out my YouTube and subscribe. If you're listening to it now, go ahead and press that subscribe button down there. But here's something that I made. I've heard that these car manufacturers that are making cars here in America, they're not going to America. They're going overseas. They're going to somewhere else in Europe.
Well, if you buy it,
they're going to other countries.
You buy a Sylvania TV, which I don't even know if they make them anymore. But all the guts are made in other countries. So you can't say it was made in America if all the guts were made somewhere else.
Well, that's the thing I said about a Harley Davidson, and I know people are going to write to me on this one. If you look at the parts, they're not made in the U.S. The bike is assembled in the U.S. The bike's put together here. The bike's quote-unquote made as in we put the parts together here. But some of those parts are not made in the U.S. They're not made in a Harley-Davidson factory just for the Harley-Davidson like Mercedes-Benz or one of those companies do. At one time, if the company made a car like Ford and stuff, Ford made the parts.
The reason that is because it's cheaper to have it made somewhere else.
I don't know about that. I was told it's just the same as doing it here.
Well, it's cheaper because the labor costs are cheaper.
Well, I was told that there's also incentives. If you can get taxes off your company, if you outsize,
I mean, China supposedly still have sweatshops.
Well, I don't know about that. I think some of those things are kind of down.
You think it's propaganda?
Well, I think they just make a big deal about a lot of things.
But that's something I don't understand about China. How can they be communist and capitalist at the same time?
Well, because they let their people have freedoms, but there's only one person running the thing.
Yeah, but communism...
They have one family running it. It's like what Germany did. Germany said, all right, you can go where you want to. You can work where you want to.
Well, Germany is now a socialized country, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but at one time, Germany and all those countries...
Or is it, am I wrong? Is it democracy?
Well, yeah, but at one time, Germany had one leader, and you go where you want to, you do what you want to, but I'm the boss. So I make the rules. We don't vote for anything. We don't do anything. That's what they are.
But that's a dictatorship too, you know.
Well, I don't know the difference between what the countries are. I don't even think we're a republic here.
Well, we're covering all fucking kind of topics here.
We're not a democracy. We're a republic.
Yeah, that's true.
It says it in our flag, and that thing.
In the United States.
That thing that my kids made to
for
stand
the
up.
republic for which we stand.
Yeah, our pledge. We're pledging ourselves to our government.
Hey, but now they don't even do the pledge.
You know, my daughter didn't stand for that. No, they do it. My daughter didn't stand for that. She didn't want to stand for it. She wanted to start doing her work. And you know what? They wrote a letter home saying that she was bad that day in school. Come on. She wanted to do work. Doing work and educating herself So what? I realize you're standing for your country. I am a patriot, but why would you make a 6-year-old girl go to the office and send a note home saying she was bad because of that? That's
look, I was in the Air Force. I'm a patriot towards the country, but
the national anthem.
That's not towards the government. Not towards the government. I just disagree with so much shit about the government on all levels.
Well, that's what living in America is all about. You can disagree with the government, and nobody's going to do anything to you that I know of.
Well, not yet.
That we know of.
No, well, if they don't now. I mean, we've got censorship. We've got a lot of our liberties are taken away.
Well, you can say I disagree with a law. They're not going to come to your house and arrest you for it. You know? You can say I disagree with something.
Well, I agree there.
Not being hateful.
I agree.
But say, well, I disagree with this politician.
I agree to disagree.
And I disagree with the president's health plan and all this, and they're not going to come to me and arrest me and throw me in jail.
You don't have a choice in the matter, though. You might disagree in something, like the health plan, but you don't have a choice in it because it's mandated.
Well, see, a true democracy would have voted for the health plan. We didn't vote for that. We let them do it. That's a republic.
We let our so-called, quote, unquote, representatives.
What representatives? I've never met them. Have you?
I think once they
they're my representatives and I voted for somebody, why is it that here, November 4th,
yep,
we're having elections, some people November 2nd, some are other times of the day, some have already happened. Why, if I call up the number that's on that paper that was sent to me in the mail, the person refuses to talk to me?
I used to vote.
I have 2 questions for 2 people this year about definite issues that we're dealing with here in New York, and the people won't even talk to me, won't even give me 10 minutes of their time to discuss what they're talking about on this piece of paper. But their piece of paper has been sent to me 4 different times. My neighbor has gotten it 5 different times.
What piece of paper is that?
It's a big piece of paper.
Propaganda stuff that you send?
No. It's a piece of paper telling you about how he's married. He's a good family man.
Yeah, it's the propaganda stuff.
I don't know if it's propaganda. It's just information stuff.
Words.
But I've gotten 4 of these damn things. The same thing. And I called the number on it.
They're spending a lot of money on that, aren't they?
Yeah, I called the number on it. Well, they do fundraising for it. It's not out of their pocket. I called the number on it. I said I have some issues to talk to you about. One time I called the number on there, and somebody hung up on me and said that they don't have to answer anybody.
You got corporations backing them.
Well, it's fundraising money. That's not out of their wallet. They don't open up their wallet and pay for that.
But that's the point. You know, the point is they have to use money in order to, advertise themselves.
Have another cigarette, Mike. You coughed a little bit.
I need a drink of water. Anyway, you know, why can't it be that you as an individual, if you feel qualified enough to run some form of government, you don't have to be a damn lawyer. You know, you don't have to be rich to begin with. You don't have to steal money from somebody or take money from somebody as a kickback or whatever the case may be, special interest groups and whatever. Why can't we have a truly honest politician who's going to do what the people want? Because once they get in the office, they do what the hell they want. They're self-interest. It's not public interest.
That's an excellent point, and we need to go on a break. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll find out more. We're leaning to the end of the show as well, and the cat is staring at me like I don't know what the cat's going to do. So let's figure this out, and we'll be right back. All right, so we saw it. They're talking about this homeowner. Halloween lights got shut off, and he had to get a block party permit. I've seen them around here last year. And you're talking about expenses, Mike. I'd hate to see his light bill.
Oh, I know. I mean, he had extensive lighting. He had these lights that were like lips that were singing to songs that he was boosting out.
I wonder if you took a video of that because of YouTube's new rule about music, and hence the 4th I can't play music on this thing anymore.
Well, yeah, what I don't understand.
Goddamn show!
I don't understand
play music.
I mean, you listen to the radio. It's well, except for the commercials. It's free to listen to it.
And how many of us made mixtapes when we were kids off the radio?
Oh, man, I used to do tapes all the time off the radio.
I mean, if we're admitting that right now, are we violating governmental laws?
As you know, I don't think, as long as you're not selling it. See, the problem is with a lot of music, it's copyrighted in the way that they want to get the royalties. Because every time a song's played on the radio, the royalties go back to the person who did the song. Okay?
Well, what if Michael Jackson's dead? What royalties go to him?
To his estate.
No. Or a lot of musicians.
Do you know his estate is still making like $600 million a year?
Yeah.
On royalties? $600 million.
His kids must be really rich.
You know, the richest songwriter is Paul McCartney.
Of the Beatles.
Yeah.
You know, Ringo Starr starred in Shining Time Station. And he's the most asked for and one of the best storytellers of the Thomas the Tank Engine series.
Lennon was assassinated before his time. George Harrison died from liver problems.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I thought there was 3 left.
3 what?
3 Beatles left after Lennon's death.
It's Ringo and Paul McCartney. McCartney's, what, 72 now? Or something, 71 or something like that.
Ringo Starr, like I just said, was in Thomas the Tank Engine.
But that was what I was going to say. Ringo is the oldest of the whole bunch, and he's living the longest and looking the best, actually. You know, he's aged pretty well. I tell you what, without the Beatles, you wouldn't have any music except maybe today's rap.
And our studio cat here is trying to desperately take my shoelaces off.
It's a kitten. So what do you want? I mean, that's what kittens do. They play with everything.
I think we should chain him to jump through fiery hoops. And stand on his hind legs and dance.
Now, you could, I was going to use the word blame, but you could thank the Beatles for almost every genre of music after them.
Well, there's more than that. You have Frank Zappa.
Well, no.
You have ZZ Top.
The Beatles influenced everyone.
Well, they're not the only ones. The Monkees influenced people.
No, the Monkees were influenced by the Beatles. They were made up just to be like the Beatles in their own way. They were created.
There was music before the Beatles ever got out there.
Yeah, I mean, it was teen bopper music mostly.
No, I meant there's good singers. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin.
Those are a different whole style.
There was rock singers back then.
Rock and roll. You had Bill Haley in the Comets is hailed as the first rock and roll band.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
And then he came after all that.
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley.
Elvis, or Elvis as they call him. See, I'm not an Elvis fan, but I believe he did wonderful music, but I'm just not a fan. I'm just not somebody who jumps up and down when they hear his name.
They didn't. Well, they went nuts over him just like they did with Frank Sinatra prior. But the thing is Elvis didn't write his own songs.
No singer writes their own songs. Elton John is the only one that I know of.
No, Elton John had his writer, but now he writes his own. But
Elvis started just like Whitney Houston did, by the way, in Christian music in church.
Well, a lot of people started. Aretha Franklin started off with gospel, and I'm not a big fan of Aretha Franklin either, but she could belt it out. You know.
Well, yeah, I don't know about Aretha Franklin. She's one of the divas of music. I know that.
I'm an aficionado of music, so I know my music. It's just contemporary music. I mean, I stopped listening to. I still hear a song here and there on the radio that pretty.
What about Weird Al? I'm a big Weird Al fan.
Well, he's just a satirist. You know, he writes that, making fun of the music. Parodies, that's it. Satire.
And he made a wonderful one to Lord's Royals. He did Foil.
I know.
That I was listening to the other day, actually. I finally saw the video.
I think I heard one somebody did Boils. Can you imagine Boils?
Wild and Wacky Wade at yahoo.com is our email here. www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please go down there and subscribe.
But I knew Wild and Wacky before he did this show. He did others, and he was really wild and wacky back then. Now he's kind of tamer. He's much more tame.
Well, I'm much more tame because I was told by the head office up there. And if I go into our office again and see more flowers, I'm going to throw them on the floor.
What?
I've seen more. It was like a funeral parlor up there, for God's sake.
What kind of office is it? I mean, what does she do?
Well, you got to go up there on that stupid elevator where you press the button 3, 4, 5, 6 goddamn times, and the thing won't go anywhere. Of course, you got to pass the studio of those guys. You know who they are. Those wackos down there.
I'm not
People.
sure.
The guy stares at me every day with a weird look with his sunglasses on. He's down there staring at me today. He's staring at me as I walk by down here. Their show is on at, 8? They're still here after their show. Why, I don't know.
I mean, you had some really good musicians that always wore sunglasses inside, but they were blind, like Ray Charles.
Well, maybe he's blind.
Or Stevie Wonder is blind. But they made Roy Orbison wear sunglasses because they thought it was, going to make him...
Didn't he die on a plane?
Roy Orbison? No.
Weren't there a few that... No, Roy Orbison's crew was the one that died on the plane?
No, you're thinking of someone else. You're thinking of Big Bopper and stuff.
No, wasn't it his band that died on a plane? They were all supposed to play together, and a few of them died on a plane, and he didn't?
I don't think so.
Or he did, and they didn't?
You're thinking of someone else. I mean, you had Lynyrd Skynyrd. Almost the whole band died.
No,
yeah.
Roy Orbison was supposed to play with a bunch of other guys. They took a plane he drove, and the plane crashed.
No, I don't think he was on that thing. You're talking of the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly and the Crickets, and somebody else.
Well, the Crickets survived. There's just Buddy Holly that died. They took a bus or something.
Somebody, I forget, didn't make it to the plane. Oh, what's his name?
Wyman Jennings. Wyman Jennings and another guy made a bet. They lost a bet. Wyman Jennings had the drive, and the other guy got to take the plane.
Yeah.
And
the guy who did La Bamba, what's his name?
I don't know. Wyman Jennings
that's when he died,
has kicked himself in the ass ever since. And Wyman Jennings is the one that did the Dukes of Hazzard song.
I don't remember the song.
It's the Good Old Boys by Wyman Jennings.
Well, I didn't.
If I'm saying the name, maybe I'm not sure, but it's Jennings.
I was raised during the time when that show was on, and I hated it. I thought it was stupid.
Dukes of Hazzard is still on.
That's stupid. Yeah, on Nick at Night or some shit like that.
Yeah, I like Green Acres, to be honest with you.
Well, that was stupid too, but it
wasn't stupid. It was funny.
Green Acres is the place to be.
You're gonna sing that song here?
I forget the whole damn thing. I used to watch it. I won't say religiously, but because there was lack of anything else to watch sometimes.
Well, I think Nickelodeon, the company Nickelodeon, Nick at Night, Nick Jr. and all that stuff. They had shows like F Troop and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I grew up doing those shows.
What about MASH?
MASH was pretty good, actually.
I heard it was a movie.
It was a movie first.
It was a movie first, and then it was a series.
Yeah. The only one that came from the movie
show was Bewitched.
The only one from the movie that was in the TV show was Radar.
Who?
Radar was the only original character from the movie.
No, the other guy, the pilot there.
None of them.
No, he was in the movie and the series too.
Nope, just that one.
There was the Radar guy and the other guy that were both in the movie.
Nope, none of them.
Yes, the guy who drove the helicopter.
There was nobody who drove one.
Yeah, he was in the first season. After that, he got himself out of the war, and they didn't have him again. That was like the first season was a transition from the movie to the series.
You're talking about, what's his name, who became made a doctor show?
No, he did something. But yeah, Radar was the one that made it through the whole entire series. Radar actually, the last season is when he finally got left.
But in the movie, Radar was the only character that transferred from the movie to the TV show.
I'm talking about the actor. The guy who played Radar and the other guy.
I don't know.
Are the only two that went over to MASH.
And there was nobody but Radar.
Because I
can look it up for you. I'll show you. Radar was the only one that came out of the movie that stayed in the TV show.
Well, I'm talking about the guy who played him.
Who played who?
The guy who played the helicopter pilot.
I don't know any helicopter pilot.
Came over in the MASH in the first season. And then
I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't know the guy's name either. I don't even know who played Radar.
I don't remember anything like that. They really never showed helicopter.
The female one there.
It was a different one too.
Was actually the female character. The concept was to represent females being first in the military as nurses.
Yeah, well.
And they're the first show that actually showed that.
It was actually a protest against a stupid war.
Yeah, what was it? Vietnam, right? Or was
No,
it
it was
Korean War?
Korean War. What was stupid about it is it was senseless. I mean, nobody won. And what, the divided country?
Well, we didn't go over there to fight. We went over there to watch them.
Watch my ass.
Like, just like we went into Iraq and
originally we called
we
it.
went over there to watch them and make sure they didn't do stupid
we
shit.
didn't call it a war. We called it something else. I forget what they labeled it,
But the part of it is just like the Middle East. We went over there to watch them.
Something like
and
a
make
police
sure,
action or something like that.
We went over there to make sure they didn't do stupid shit. And it turned out that they turned on us. It's just like Vietnam. We went in there to assist. And again, make sure stupid shit isn't done. And they turned on us.
And they got lunatic dictator in Korea.
Well, I don't know if he's a lunatic, but
well, they're all.
I never hear about Korea in the news. We hear about the other countries.
No, it's been in the news quite a bit. Kim Jong-un, whatever.
Oh, is that Korean?
Yeah. He walks around his little
North Korea and South Korea thing, and
he looks a little bit like well.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why who you just said goes away all the time and comes back on different trips and stuff. Anyways, we're winding down here on Halloween night. Once in a while, I hear sirens go off.
Halloween, oh man.
When I was a kid, they used to tell me, make sure you have your eye holes in your mask big enough to see out of. Now they're telling kids to make sure you don't use real weapons as part of your... That looks like an old Demolition from...
Right, the only problem is you can see my chin.
Well, Demolition from the WWE wrestling. They were the tag team. They wore those kind of hockey masks.
Well, this was white. It's a hockey mask, right?
I would say. What did you do? Spray painted it black?
Yeah, because I wanted it to be dark, in the darkness, so you wouldn't see the face at all.
What is that, for your little bondage club downstairs you own?
No, I did it for the Halloween, to be the Grim Reaper. But the Grim Reaper would have been better if I had that mask that Joe had.
Yeah.
The skull mask.
Well, I thought they were your mask. I thought he took your outfit and
no, he took my robe, but one of the robes I had.
Our little cat now is joining us. You want to say anything for everyone?
He don't speak. I don't.
He don't care.
He doesn't really.
He's looking at you like you're dumb.
I said, "Why are you talking like me, huh? You're supposed to be learning English, and I'm supposed to be learning cat." Now, I did have a conversation with Doobie, my other cat, and we had really good conversations. I mean, we would talk to each other and answer each other, and stuff like that, and we knew what each other.
He might when he gets older. He's just a little guy now.
Yeah.
But look at those back paws and those claws. Those claws look like they're ready to shred something.
Look at this. Watch.
Oh my God, that's a good 2-inch claw.
The front ones they're like
That's
needles.
A good 2-inch
they're
claw.
like needles. They're like needles, and my ankles are all torn up. All torn up because you're climbing up and jumping on them. Yeah, you know I'm talking to you, don't you? Okay, we are talking to a cat. We're ignoring our audience.
Well, that's okay. The audience doesn't give a crap. Maybe there's cat lovers out there. I'm not a cat lover. Well, I'm not going to say I'm not a lover of cats. I just am allergic to house cat breeds, and if they don't weigh 500 pounds or more, I really don't know what to do with them because of my circus experience. I couldn't do that. Rubbing your face all on the cat's head like that.
Well, I'm doing what they would do. Because, see, their cheeks have that's where their glands are that let out the...
All you got to do is this on their forehead.
And that's how they mark you to know if you're okay, your friends, or whatever.
Well, their whiskers are right there, too.
And so I'm doing it to him so he can see.
Don't cut his whiskers down, either.
No, they fall off.
Do they all fall off at once or not?
No, one at a time, every so often. And they grow back. Right? Say, what are you doing to me? You look like a rabbit.
He looks like he's going to fall asleep. He don't care. Can he be put on his back? Nope.
They can't.
Nope. He's going to turn.
You know, if you drop them, they always turn.
Yeah, that's how they... Nope, he can't be put on his back. The only animal I know of that I've ever seen put on their back and never turned was a parrot. A bird.
You know,
He wants my whoa.
Parrots are one of the 10 most intelligent animals there are.
Well, they're not too intelligent when they start squawking in your damn ear.
You know what's the most intelligent right after us?
Elephants.
No. They're in there, but they're not. Porpoises.
Well, elephants are the only animal that can recognize themselves in a mirror.
Well, they're on the top 10 list. I'm not sure where. I forgot where I found it. I should have kept it. Parrots were there. Dogs were down on the list, but they were there.
Mice,
horses,
rats, and mice, believe it or not, are on the list.
I think a rat is.
Rats, cats, monkeys, birds.
Well, a chimpanzee and gorillas are on the list.
Monkeys, rats, cats.
Did you hear that? Did you see that the screaming
and birds are the only ones that can speak human. They're the only ones that can actually make human sounds.
They did a video, an actual video with goats.
Yeah.
Did you see that? That was hilarious.
No, I didn't.
I was watching it today.
The pygmy goats or the baby ones?
No, just regular goats, and they all make different sizes. They had this one goat, little baby goat. The guy was talking to it, and the thing would go, what? It was cute. But then they had one where the video where they would sing a song and the goat would go, help!
You ever hear that annoying video where dogs sing the Christmas song? You ever seen the one? Yeah, that's annoying as hell.
Yeah, well, anyway.
What is that? The screen just changed.
Yeah, that's because it's going on the screen.
So our show is winding down tonight. Remember, www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. You can listen to us live, and if you're listening to us live here on YouTube or one of our other networks, we thank you. We want you to call in. Next week, we're going to have the number up and working. We're going to make sure everything's set for you.
Are you allowed to put this on YouTube?
Yes, I do have it on YouTube. In fact, they may be listening to us on YouTube right now.
Not this particular show.
Yes, because by the time they're listening to us now, it's going to be on YouTube by the time I get it on there. So they could already be on YouTube listening to you, asking them if they can hear you on YouTube. Imagine how much they're laughing at you right now, Mike.
I would rather they laughed with me. Hey,
yes.
I can laugh at myself, If I can laugh at myself.
I can't laugh at myself. I hurt myself feelings too bad.
You do.
All right, folks. We'll see you next week. Same place, maybe the same time. They don't change things up in the head office. We'll see you next week, folks, and thanks for coming.
I have no concept of time anymore.